When the student is ready, the teacher appears. I remember hearing that when I was younger and being like, that's fucking dumb. What a dumb quote. But then when I looked at all of my mentors, there were mentors that were ready to mentor me all the time, that were ready to help me go to the next level, but I just didn't understand it because I wasn't ready. If you're not putting in daily action goals or daily action habits, then you're not gonna get to that point. You probably will not make it anywhere great without a mentor, I think, or without somebody showing you. It's like, imagine trying to learn how to fly a plane by yourself.
No, it doesn't work.
Probably wouldn't work very well, right? I mean, so if you need a mentor, first, YouTube, right? You can find mentors for free on YouTube. Guys like Alex Hormozy are spitting out absolute gems for free on the internet. But how long did it take you to find a mentor, and what advice do you have somebody who needs a mentor? Somebody who's like, fuck, I don't know where to start.
I think that all of mine have just happened through action or through meeting people. So like I would consider my dad as one, like that time that just so happened to have like get me started into real estate. Right. And then my second one, when I joined a team in real estate, that was my second one where he had showed me a little bit more of like, hey, this is what grinding means when it comes to being a real estate agent. Like, this is what you have to do. These is like the phone calls and the marketing and all this shit. Right. And then with title insurance, the person who recruited me into title, who believed in me, he actually hired me, fired me 3 months later, and then rehired me. And then I became like number one in that company at that time. Yeah. So it was all of those people, but it wasn't something that I like seeked out to get. Yeah. I think those are the wrong way to do it. I think you need to take action first, and you'll meet those right people as you go. Were you seeking to learn though? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's a quote that I love, which sounds a little corny, but it's, let me make sure I don't butcher it, but the quote goes something along the lines of, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? And I remember hearing that when I was younger and being like, that's fucking dumb. What a dumb quote. But then when I looked at all of my mentors that I got, there were mentors that were ready to mentor me all the time, that were ready to help me go to the next level, but I just didn't understand it because I wasn't ready. One of my biggest mentors, three of them really, but at Beacon Payments, this company that I worked for, Dave and Jerry are the two owners, and then Ryan Howard was my director of sales. Still all very good friends of mine, still mentors of mine. If I had not met them, my life would be everything that I've built my company on is based off stuff that I've learned. But I applied at that job. I got out of my comfort zone and I was ready to hit that next level. I just eventually was going to find somebody, right? But so I think a lot of people are like, well, I don't know where to get a mentor. Well, you're probably not acting. You said action is your word, right? If you're not putting in daily action goals or daily action habits, then you're not going to get to that point. Do you agree?
Yeah. And I think it's hard when you're 18, not knowing what you want to do. Right. Yeah. Cause like I'm sure with both of us, like we didn't know what we wanted to do at that period. Right. And with you starting your company and with me evolving into different aspects of real estate. Yep. But I had to get into something. Right. Like whatever job it was, you just needed to see growth or opportunity in that. And then maybe you can figure out your path from there, and someone could create opportunity through that and a mentor through that. Right. Like you working at a dead end job you're probably not going to find your mentor at your dead end job. Right. So, right. Yeah. That's really good. Yeah. Well, and also I think when I look at social media, I see a lot of young 20-year-old kids flexing and stunting, right? Acting like there's something they're not. And I get it. I think most men do that in their early 20s, right? They think they have to be this person. They're afraid to not be. They're afraid to be vulnerable, all this stuff. It wasn't until I really hit closer to my 30s where I really just detached from that. Like you said, you were wearing the suit, you were doing all of that, and then you kind of detached and you really just accepted you for who you are, and you're like, hey, take it or leave it. This is who I am. Sure. And there's power in that. But I think that and again, Dave Selenow, my old boss, told me when I was young, I was probably 20 years old, and he said, listen, your 20s are for learning and your 30s are for earning. And I remember being like, yeah, but I'm gonna make all this money in my 20s. And I did make good money, but I did more learning than anything. So I think that once you hit that age of 30, I think you start to mature, but things really change.